It's a good regional. LSU is going to probably be a good host. We've never been to that golf course, but they hosted in 2013 and 2017, and based on the results in 13 and 17, it's a great golf course, and it'll test, and that's what you want in a regional. You want a place that the best teams will advance. I think in 2013, Sam Burns and Wyndham Clark were 1 and 2, so two guys that we've all heard of on the PGA Tour. And so that excites me to have a golf course that the best players are the best teams are going to advance and the best players are going to win. And so I'm excited about getting down there, and the guys are definitely trending. We've had a lot better practices, post Big 12, and feel like we're in a great spot now.
Coach, what have some of the preparations been for this course, being that water is a factor on a couple of these holes?
Yeah, I mean, we can't really do that till we get there in a lot of ways, but we try to, we give them some GPS sight lines and just some things to prepare for the course, and we'll map the course out, but it really doesn't come to light until you get out there and see and feel it. And so we've done a little research. The guys have, the lines off the tees and what it looks like on paper, but a lot of times, you still have to make some adjustments on the conditions, the wind. It looks like they're going to get a lot of rain, maybe on that first day, so that'll soften the course. So we'll have to be good at adjusting to the golf course and the grasses and different things that'll present some challenges, but a lot of that'll have to be done on site.
Being that there's a lot of unknowns, are you planning to play a little bit more conservative, or is it kind of just to see the hole, play the hole?
Yeah, I suppose there's a little bit of a team golf where you want to have a good game plan, and sometimes that may show up in the conservative space, but then a lot of times it also is we'll have a hole that we feel like we need to play more aggressive than other teams because we have, a couple kids that really can move the golf ball. Callum Scott is probably one of the longest hitters, in college golf. So, it's really nuanced to answer that question, but we'll set a good game plan once we see and feel it, and try to adjust based on what the weather brings us. And if we're great in that space, we'll probably gain some strokes on the field, and if we're not, then we'll lose some.
Greg, I guess especially consider seems like a pretty experienced lineup. What kind of gives you confidence about your guys' ability to play well in postseason?
Yeah, we've got some guys that have played a lot of postseasons. Board Scogan is his senior for us. He's been here. We have a couple transfers that Vicente's played in regional, I think 3 regionals by himself. So he made it as an individual, even though he's in the first year here at Texas Tech. Callum's played in a regional. This will be his 3rd one. Tyron's played, a couple regionals for us. So we, if you probably stacked up all the experience at regionals, I'd have to believe we have a team that, and even Matthew has a couple regionals under his belt. So you add all those up, and I'd be shocked if we're not the most experienced team in the field with regards to experience playing regionals. So that's always a good thing, because you'll probably have some teams that have maybe 2 or 3 guys that have never been to a regional. It's just different. Anytime you have a number of, hey, you got to be in the top 5 to advance, that affects people different ways, and I suppose we'll handle that better if we can just accept that we've been there and embrace the pressure of the moment and try to handle that better than the other teams. And I think we will.
Had some really good teams in the past. How does this one stack up to the past couple of years?
It's not top heavy like last year, where I think a lot of guys were waiting on Ludvig to play and do his thing, and we've all picked up the slack. And I think this team's got a identity that's a little bit different than others. We know when we play good that we've shown that we can win big time golf tournaments and compete against the best players in the country. And whether it was Hawaii when we finished 4th, and I think lost to Auburn by a shot, who's the number 1 team in the country, or when we won the Prestige by a lot of shots and moved up to number 5 in the country. We know when we play good, our upside is there, but we also know that when we're not doing the right things, that we can get beat by anybody. So that identity is there. I think the guys are really trying to focus hard on the things that bring out the best in them, and we've had a couple good weeks of prep and getting back to those basics, if you will, of understanding who we are and being great in the spaces that we're good.
You made it through 3 regionals in a row. What's the key to success once the postseason comes around?
Yeah, kind of all the things we talked about, just controlling our controllables, being great in those spaces, being tough to, our performance formulas, which is a lot of the stuff that is not golf related. It's not hitting shots, it's who we are in space and believing in ourselves and trying to not let the results, bring us to spaces that bring us down. So a lot of it's in the mental space, and I love the regional because I think it separates cultures, and we've built a really strong culture here. And I told the guys, this tournament's about culture. This tournament's about whose culture is the best, and it's not always about golf shots. So we want those tests, we embrace those things, and this is what we're up against now.
Greg, what have you thought over the past year, watching Ludvig and seeing what he's done and kind of just the way he's been received in pro golf?
Yeah, you kind of run out of things that you don't want to expect things, but I knew that he was going to do these things. I just didn't know how fast, and so you're like, wow, he's already, in my mind, he's probably the number 2 player in the world behind Scotty. He just keeps moving up and moving up. I think the rankings have him at 5, but I think even when you hear Rory McIlroy talk about him or all the other guys, they just see that this guy is not only really, really good, but with his mental game and his physical attributes, the sky's the limit. So you're just getting to see that unfold. You're getting to see what you believed already about him, what you saw day to day. You're getting almost the world to get to see it. So it's exciting to see that they are getting to see what we saw here for 4 years.
To what extent does that help your program?
I always tell people it's kind of the gift that keeps on giving right now. I'm sure it'll run out, but every recruit wants to be Ludvig. Certainly the European kids, they want to come to where he wants to be. We've picked up some really, really good players there for 24 and 25, and it's a lot can be attributed to his success here. And kids believe that they can go do what he did here, and the truth is it's probably somewhere in between there. We provide those opportunities and provide them good coaching and all that, but he's the one that dug it out of the dirt and worked hard, and so he's the gift that keeps on giving.
You obviously have your own schedule and your own team to coach. How many times since last June, say, have you gotten to see him play in person?
I watched him one round at the Rocket Mortgage in Detroit, where he was kind of auditioning for Ryder Cup. He played with Luke Donald, and I think he was 9 under or 8 under. He played incredibly well, and I actually told him after that round, I go, "You just made the Ryder Cup." He goes, "You think?" I go, "Yeah." He said, "Luke Donald was in your group, and you just hit every fairway, 330 down the middle. I think if I was him, you're on the team," and it turned out to be true. But and then I got to go to the Ryder Cup. But after that, I haven't gone. Had the opportunity to go to the Masters, but I really needed to show our team that this is the team we have. We're in the middle of our season, and Ludvig's shots don't count for us anymore. And I think that's important to these guys, but important to me as well, that we get the best effort out of this group.
So what was your Ryder Cup experience like?
Well, I wanted him to have all the passes and everything for his European family and everything. There were a lot of people that wanted to go. So, my experience wasn't an inside the ropes experience. It was a true spectator experience, which was great. I mean, we were in the middle of the stands on the first tee and got to experience what, a regular fan got to. We were running around trying to, chase his group, and it was tough. It's tough to go watch. There's only 3 or 4 groups sometimes out there, and there's a lot of people out there. So in a one way, it's tough to get to see all the golf you want, but in another way, it was just fantastic to feel the crowds, to feel the support that he had, to just kind of experience. It was my first Ryder Cup, and to have one of your players, you almost like, it was so surreal. You felt like it was almost like a dream. So it was an incredible experience for him to win some of the matches he won, and for Team Europe to win. And I'll forever have some unbelievable memories with my wife and I there, getting to cheer him on.
Coach, go ahead.
Go ahead. Well, I was going to say, just kind of staying on that for just one more moment. How many phone calls have you gotten just from golf media to tell your part of the Ludvig story?
Hundreds. Yeah. A lot. A lot of people want to know, particularly prior to the Ryder Cup, kind of wanted to know more about his story, and that was when it was exploding, so they reached out to me to find out a little bit more and explore that. It's just quieted way down because now they have access to him, and have more access just to ask him those questions. But it still pops up, and it's still a great problem to have. But you know, in my 25 years, I've never seen anything like it. I've never felt anything like it, for sure.
Coach, going back to the mental aspect that you're talking about playing in postseason play, how do you avoid burnout late in the season, and do you feel anybody on your team is kind of experiencing that right now heading into regionals?
Yeah, we may have had some burnout maybe prior to the conference tournament, or maybe even just a little bit of, you know, the season's a grind. It's kind of like, you know, maybe baseball, where you'll have these ebbs and flows when you're playing that many games, whether it's college or pro. But I think the break after conference to kind of kick it gave us, you know, in the butt that we didn't play good, has really probably been one of the best things that we could have had heading into the postseason. You know, we requalified for the spots on the team. The guys handled that well, and so we needed some real reps to get some, you know, what a tournament feelings going again before we left again. And so it's been a great couple weeks to prepare, and I don't sense any burnout from anybody, from the coaches to, you know, our sixth guy.
Yeah, I think we've had some up and downs as a team so far this year. We've had some really highs and some disappointing weeks, and I think, I mean, Coach tells us that all of that comes together in the end. You take your best, or you take what you can out of it, learn from it, and then kind of move on, because next round, next shot's all that counts. So yeah, I think we've definitely taken the good stuff, put that in the memory bank, knowing that we can go and compete against the best teams and do pretty well against them, and then just using the times that we kind of got disappointed and got down on ourselves to use that as motivation to push us forward.
How do you feel your strengths will play to this course?
Well, I think none of us have really seen the golf course yet, so it's still going to be pretty new for us when we get there. But I mean, we've got James, who's really good at like setting out a game plan and stuff like that, so definitely going to rely on him. But I mean, we kind of have some ideas of what the golf course is going to look like, but I mean, we can't say for sure now until we get there and start putting in like some feet on the ground and seeing what the course is like. I think it's supposed to get some rain too, which I feel like we're kind of a long team off the tee, so that might help us in a way, as we'll be able to hit some shorter shots in. But yeah, I think we can practice what we practice and like get your fundamentals and basics all where they need to be, and then when it comes to the tournament, we just adjust to what the conditions are like.
I feel like you've improved. You know, you're senior. This is it for you, isn't it? You're graduating.
Yeah.
Just being that this is it for you, how do you feel you've come along in the past 4 years?
Yeah, I mean, coming like small boy back home, coming to America, it's like a scary thing. I went to Memphis for 2 years, felt like I grew a lot there, and was ready to take the next step. So I went into the portal and managed to come to Texas Tech, which was like one of the best teams in the country. We had Ludvig last year, like just someone to look up to and be like, I mean, after what he's done now, like we see him every now and then, and I still see him as the guy that was on the team. I don't see him as the top 10 golfer in the world, something like that. But like, you take what you can out of it and learn. And I mean, I've had coaches along the way that have helped me grow. And it's not only on the golf course that I think I've like grown. It's also like off the golf course and just preparing yourself for the big world outside after college. So yeah.
Is Ludvig someone like you guys model yourself after? I know you see him as a teammate, but you know, you see him doing these amazing things on the PGA Tour. Is that someone you're like, man, I could do this because I played with him?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I beat him in college when we played tournaments. I remember like Prestige, I think we were pretty close, and I remember before the last round, I was like, I'll see you in the playoff after the round, and he ended up beating me by 2 shots. And I came third and he got the win, so I was like, well, I guess I can't beat this guy in college, but hey, maybe we'll see after this year, start playing some pro tournaments and stuff together if I'm lucky enough. So yeah, I mean, I think he's got the game, he's got the attitude. I think that's something people look past. I mean, he's obviously a great player, but I like he's a better guy, and just like the mentality he has and stuff like that, I think is the reason he's moved on so quickly. Because at the end of the day, like everyone at this level can hit the golf ball and get the ball in the hole. It's just about doing it over and over again and just staying in that mind space. So yeah, I think that's probably his biggest, what I feel is his biggest attribute.
Where do you feel the morale and team chemistry is at right now for all of y'all?
I think after the kick that we've had, or the kicks that we've had, we're kind of coming together now. We're getting into we're just like, we all want to go out and get it, make a last stand kind of thing. So yeah, I think we had nice couple rounds, like competitive rounds last week, and everyone came out and played really well. So I think that definitely lifted the spirits, and yeah, getting us ready and looking forward to this next week.
Is there anything specific you've been working on since that conference tournament?
No, I mean I feel like, I think the coaches too. It's like we're all here. We can all play golf. It's just about having that competitive edge. So I guess that's kind of what we've been practicing, is just competing and putting yourself in those situations where you need to go hit some difficult shots, you need to go hit the ball in the right spot and get it up and down if you don't need to. So just trying to practice that competitive environment, putting yourself under a bit of pressure, stuff like that.